Pretty much well, one, it's a fantastic time-saving tool, but two, it keeps you on the cutting edge. It means that as things are breaking, you're on that breaking edge because you've pretty much got your ear to the ground to all of the things that are important to you in your niche. So I think from a way to consume information, it is the most efficient way to consume information. And in a world where we're bombarded with so much information that it would be impossible to consume it all, it's just a godsend.
Yeah, I completely agree. And it's, and as I say, if you talk about the single thing that's had the greatest impact to my workflow, because I know nothing. God, I'm a total dumb ass. It's only the work of others, my ability. So, I've got so many influences, and it's only the work of others that if I bring a skill, if I can have some sort of skill, because I can barely, walk and breathe at the same time, that is the ability to say, okay, I just read an article about how penguins live in the Antarctic, and then realize that there's a great lesson for photography in that because of these fundamentals. If I've got any skill, it's by saying, wow, look at this cool thing this hairdresser did in the north of England, which got a whole bunch of clients in. And for me not to put the blinkers and filters up and say, well, that only applies to hairdressing, but to say, oh, okay, what if we change the word hairdressing and applied it to motorsports? Will it work? And then to understand, if you put the risk mitigation and everything in, that the worst thing that you can do is a test that wastes some time. But it doesn't waste because you've got a result. That particular result didn't work. But then it might lead to something which does work. And that's, if I've got any skill, that's it.
Look, I think you've got a little bit more skill than that, and I know you're definitely someone that people should be watching, and definitely...
Farmville, I'm really starting to get some chops in Farmville.
I'm holding off. I'm not too sure I want to jump into Farmville.
No, you do.
But
you do.
As far as, you'd definitely be up there, I think, with all of those people that you mentioned, even though you do sort of play that down, your skill is really quite strong in the way that you can break it down and make it consumable for people at every level. So I know if people want to find out more about you, they can follow you on Twitter, which is ed_dale.com. ed_dale, that's at Twitter. But what are some other ways people can keep in touch with you, Ed?
Look, well, my personal blog, heaven help you if you want to go and have a look at it, is tubbynerd.com, a name given to me by Frank Kern. Thanks, Frank. But the other place, and we've mentioned it a bit during the course of the interview, which is www.30daychallenge.com, and that's all spelt out, 30daychallenge.com. If people are, and it doesn't, as you point out, I love this, and I'm finding out lots more people are doing this. People are using this to train assistants to understand how to use marketing for their traditional businesses or whatever it happens to be. There's just so much great information in a really, we spend so much time laying it out and doing it properly. And of course, the best bit of all is it's completely, utterly 3,000% free. There are no catches, and you're not pitched anything at the end. People think, oh, there's got to be a pitch. There's got to be, so we don't do it. Sure. After the 30-day challenge, we'll pitch you to your eyes bleed. No, we're actually quite reasonable. But the 30-day challenge is a sacrosanct thing that we do. It's I suppose the equivalent of doing pro bono legal work. For 11 months of the year, we try to make as much money as humanly possible. For 1 month of the year, we give back, and we try give out. And the important thing to realise is that it's the best possible information. It's no punches pulled. It really is, as you well know, it's the latest cutting-edge information for that year. And the good thing is, of course, is even though the 30-day challenge is in August, we've set it up now. So if you want to go there tomorrow and start, and that's it. And if I can leave you with a final fundamental, we're talking about fundamentals.
Yeah, please.
There are heaps of them, but the other one is that content creation and creativity and all these things is not a gift, it's a habit. And what I mean by that is something very practical. We call it the 30-day challenge, but let me tell you this. Even greater, if you get into the habit of spending 30 minutes a day for 30 days taking action, like actually applying the stuff that we teach in the 30-day challenge, by the end of that 30 days, you will amaze yourself with how you've done. Even if you don't think about the outcome, just think about the process of turning up, getting your butt in the chair and producing for that 30 minutes a day. and you'll be amazed at what you get. Because, again, the fundamental there is that too many people get focused on the end goal, I want to make 10 grand a month or whatever it happens to be, whereas the best, and this goes to Olympians, this goes to sports people, this goes to anybody who does really well, anybody I know who does really well in any field knows the secret, and the part that they enjoy the most is the process. It's the act of turning up, getting your butt in the chair, and knocking out some work every day. Because I think the other thing that would stun a lot of people is the actual productive length of time for most high achievers' days. You'd be amazed. Most people, it's about an hour of hardcore, this is what's making them the big money. The rest of it is communication and dealing with stuff and just the general hubbub of life. For something, if you knock out a solid hour a day of creation of product or content or traffic building or something, and you do that on a religious basis, you're going to be so much ahead of somebody who just tries to do it haphazardly in 30 days. Can't tell you. Because, again, it's a fundamental. Walk for 30 minutes a day for 30 days. You'll be a lot better off than you were when you started. Eat properly for 30 days. But it's getting the habit of creating. And you look at the first, if it's writing, you look at the first piece you did on day 1 and you compare it to the day 30 and you won't recognize it. But unfortunately, we're in a quick fix society. People want take a pill, wake up in the morning and have every problem solved. Another fundamental is it just doesn't work like that.
I think that fundamental's key, and I remember sitting on the mat in my gym as I was learning my Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I was, still new, 6 months in, sitting on the mat, asking my sensei, could he please show me chokes, arm bars, and leg locks? And he said, no, you need to practice the basics for pretty much the rest of your life. He's like, you focus on the basics, then everything else falls into play. You just need to find out what a few of those key repeatable things that you master those basics and everything else falls into place. And if you focus on the wrong things, you end up chasing your tail. Every time a new email pops into your email box about the latest whiz-bang magic bullet system, you'll be buying that and you'll be chasing that. So,
absolutely so true.
I've got to say, I know I've kept you well over our planned hour, Ed, and you've given so much there, extremely generous with your time, so I thank you for that. If people want to check you out, they can check you out at the 30daychallenge.com. You can just Google it and it'll come up, or that's 30daychallenge.com, all spelt out. And if they want to find out more interviews, you can head over to davidjenyns.com. But thanks again, Ed.
No worries, mate. It was awesome. Really enjoyed it.